Hands up if you want to make the most out of LinkedIn and get a good return on your investment for the time, money, and effort that you're putting into the platform. Do you want to know what content you should be posting and how to connect with people effectively? And I bet you don't have tons of time. So if I gave you a strategy that really focused your efforts and allowed you to show up on LinkedIn for just 10 minutes every day, would you be interested? Well, you'll be pleased to know that these are themes for the questions that I've received this week for this Ask Me Anything video. And if those points have resonated with you, it's probably because they came from business owners just like you who are looking to level up and build their business on LinkedIn. So in this video, I'm going to share with you some top tips and strategies to help you build your business and make the most of your investment on LinkedIn. If you're new around here, my name is Alice Fewings and I'm a LinkedIn trainer and coach, and I've worked with hundreds of business owners to help them to win on LinkedIn. But let's get started and let's answer some of these great questions. So question 1, I've been on LinkedIn for years, but I just don't know how to make it work for me. Do you have any advice? Well, I'm going to recommend a 4-step approach. So the first thing you need to do is to optimize your LinkedIn personal profile. You want to make sure that it's making good first impression and that it's set up to attract, engage, and call to action your ideal client. It's really important as well to make sure that you've got SEO-friendly keywords all the way through your profile, as this will help you to stand out in search engines like LinkedIn's own search engine and even Google. So that's really important. The next thing I would do is to put myself in the shoes of my ideal client and think about what content they'd like me to be creating for them. So is it content that educates and informs about the industry, or is it that they'd like to see the kind of behind the scenes of my working life? Number 3, have a think about your consistency. If you've ever been to a networking event and someone is rarely showing up, it's really hard to build a relationship with that person. But for those people that you see week in and week out, you build a much stronger relationship with them. They come to rely on you, and particularly on LinkedIn, they'll warm to your content when they see it, and they're much more likely to engage with your content, which is really important. And that's showing that they're invested in your journey. And number 4, make sure you're building a good quality network around you. So always quality over quantity. Don't just be a number in someone else's network connection list. Make sure that the people that you're surrounding yourself with on LinkedIn want to be there. They want to be connected with you and build a relationship with you. Because if that happens, they're much more likely to engage in your content. And that means your posts are going to get a much wider organic reach, which is really important. So that's my top tips for question 1. Let's move on to question 2. Question 2 then. How do I get more comments on my post? Such a great question, and it's obviously come from somebody who is really invested in creating that connection and relationship with their audience, because comments are the gold standard of engagement on LinkedIn and the algorithm loves them. So we do want to be making sure that we are encouraging comments to be left on our posts. But to get those comments, it starts a little bit further back in our post creation. So when you're scrolling down your newsfeed, you'll notice that what's making you stop and interact with a post is probably the first few lines of text, which is what we call a hook, and also the media asset. So whether that's a video like this one or an image or a PDF. Those are what make someone stop and click the See More button, which allows them to read the rest of your copy. At the end of the post, you also want to make sure that you're leaving a question, that you're encouraging people to leave comments. And it can be a question such as, what's the first thing you do on a Monday morning when you start work? You want the question to be open-ended, so not just offering a yes or a no answer. And you also don't want the audience to feel too vulnerable in leaving that answer to whatever the question is you asked. So that type of question is really powerful in helping people and encouraging them to leave comments on your posts. Question 3 then. What is the etiquette of connecting on LinkedIn? So you heard me mention earlier about the importance of building a quality network, quality over quantity. So we want to make sure that when we're asking someone to connect with us, that there is intent, there's meaning, and there's purpose in doing so. So think about why you want to bring this person into your network. It might be because they're an ideal client. It might be that you've seen that they viewed your profile. It could be that their content keeps reappearing on your newsfeed and you're finding it really valuable. It could be because you've met them at a networking event and you're following up and you want to get to know them better. Whatever your reason, that's absolutely fine. But then as you connect with them, you can tell them what this reason is by adding a personalized message. Now you can do this on desktop. It's not so easy on a mobile. So on a desktop, head to their profile, click the connect button, add a personalized message and address them by name and say why it is you'd like to connect with them and that you'd like to get to know them better. 9 times out of 10, they will accept this connection request because you have already shown some investment in them. And that way, you're then building a good quality network of people that you want to build that relationship with. Question 4. What is the best type of content to be posting on LinkedIn? So the first step I would do is to put myself into my ideal client's shoes and think about what content they would really like to see from me. What content would they find valuable? What content would allow me to build a connection with them? And this is likely to include a variety of content. For example, educational content. This brings value to the reader, but it also demonstrates you as an industry authority and demonstrates your industry knowledge. Next, you might want to create content that engages and entertains, that motivates and inspires. And also you might want to create content that builds connection. And in your newsfeeds, as you scroll down, the posts that have the most engagement are probably connection-based content. Connection-based content is where we're showing our personal perspective on our professional life. It's a way of letting someone see into our business and building that connection with us. And lastly, don't shy away from promotional content. We are all in business because we offer a product or a service that someone else needs and it brings benefit to them. It makes a difference to them. So it's important that we do talk about our business in that way. But of course, we do want to do it all in balance. If we were only promoting to people, then that would come across as a lot of spam content, as though we weren't there to build a relationship with somebody. If we were just educating, we would be giving a lot away for free and never calling anyone to action and allowing them to see what we have to offer. So all types of content in balance. And I think that's really effective on LinkedIn. So last but not least, question 5. How do I make the most of LinkedIn, especially when I've only got 10 minutes each day? Great question for focusing your time and your efforts on LinkedIn. So step 1, check your notifications. In here, you'll find all the updates on the post that you've created so you can see how well it's performing. And you'll also find mentions for people that have tagged you elsewhere on LinkedIn. So it's really good to go in there and be part of that conversation that's going on that's including your name. Number 2, build your network. Check your connection requests that you've had coming in, and maybe you want to send some meaningful connection requests out. And number 3, be part of the wider conversation. So either create some content yourself or go and engage on other people's content. Be part of that conversation, show that you're showing up with meaningful comments and build those relationships on LinkedIn. I really hope this video has been helpful for you today. I really enjoyed answering the questions and thank you to everyone who did send in a question for me to answer. If you've got any other questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below and I'll do my best to answer them in the comments, or I'll do another one of these Ask Me Anything videos. Take care and I'll see you again next week. Bye.